Now, I don't want this to be the answer, but it is through unfortunate circumstance that the great game I'm never going to get to play is PT. Now, that's not a choice. That is not a choice I've made to never play PT. It is just one that has happened to me over the years, where I missed it upon first release, didn't catch it in the store, and then it was taken and burned and destroyed in the fires of hell, so it didn't come round again. And every time someone has done like a fan remake that they upload, I miss it. Every single time I have missed this like re-upload, and then they get taken and burned in the fires of hell and never seen again. So it's just impossible to get real playthrough for yourself on it. Like, I've watched many videos on it, I've watched many playthroughs of it. I've experienced every way I can PT without actually getting my hands on it and playing it myself. So yeah, if someone wants to change that, please do. Again, this is not my choice to have not played PT, but realistically, it's one that unless I pay the big eBay money, I'm not actually going to be able to play myself. So that's all I've got for that one. Big sigh. Big sigh. Big sigh. Silent Hills. I'm being on my own too long.
So when it comes to great games that I probably won't play, I have talked about like Dark Souls and Demon Souls and Bloodborne and stuff like that because they just don't really appeal to me. They're too difficult. And another game that doesn't really appeal to me, I'm going to have to say, is Grand Theft Auto. And it's strange because when I say, oh, games like Grand Theft Auto don't appeal to me, it's a weird thing to say because I really love Saints Row, but I think it's because it is a Grand Theft Auto ripoff. It takes the mick out of it. It's just silly and stupid and fun, and it's got more stupid and fun over the years, and that's why I enjoy it so much. It's just something where I can just sit and play and just have a laugh. And Grand Theft Auto seems like it takes just a lot of commitment, and it has a very good storyline, and I'm sure if I did get into it, I'd really enjoy it, but I don't think it just doesn't appeal to me. I just don't want to sit down and start it. The characters just aren't really sort of, they don't resonate with me very much. And to sort of say that I guess Saints Row characters do resonate with me more, I think it's the carnage. It's just silly and fun. And unfortunately, I am one of those people that if a game is bad, but it has a customization option for your character, I'll still give it a go. I'll still try and play it because I'm just one of those people. I like making the character look like me. I like having that connection with the character I'm playing with. And it doesn't have to be that way. I have played games where I can't customize the character, but the game itself is just so good, and I really enjoy the story and the scenery and the landscapes and the art style and all that sort of stuff. But Grand Theft Auto just isn't one that appeals to me. I'm sorry. The story doesn't appeal to me, the characters doesn't appeal to me, the gameplay just doesn't really appeal to me. And I know what you're going to say, well, if you like Saints Row, then you're going to like Grand Theft Auto, but no, I don't. I've looked at it, I've seen it, I know what it's about, I'm sure it's good, but it's just not for me, okay? It's just not my cup of tea, and I'm sorry.
Games that I'll probably never ever get to, and it's the only barrier between me and actual VR nirvana, actual VR heaven. It's just everything on PC because I don't own one. And the reason I don't own one is because I love the easy access of games on consoles. Just put the disc in, download the thing, and it works. And I know that obviously there's all the potential launch woes, there's the patches and whatever, but to me that's nothing compared to the amount of little tweaks and little options and things that you have to faff with on the PC that for the brief time I tried getting into it, and granted, and I know Rich Hudson and Osley, because you'll be editing this, I know that because I started on Mac, it's the worst possible way to do this. I did used to game a little bit on PC when I was younger, but very few amounts of times when I've tried to play things, downloaded off Steam on my Mac. Brutal Legend was one example. I'm just forever in the options, tweaking the NXAA or the anti-tropic filtering or the anti-aliasing. I don't know what any of it is, and I just want, on a completely personal, subjective level, I just want a creator, an artist, the person putting out the thing to have the most direct channel to my brain as possible, and I don't want to tweak stuff in between. That's why I'm not bothered about mods, and I'm not bothered about, any sort of alterations to whatever that creative product is. So for me, one of the most easiest ways, the most direct ways to get the thing that the people put out is to just play on console. So if a specific game would just be something like Half-Life Alyx, or the other sort of Valve Steam Room, whatever the hell they call the physics-based thing where you pull the thing back and you launch the the lads, you'll know what I mean if you've played the Steam Room VR stuff. I think it's called Steam Room. Anyway, I'm just never going to get there. I'm never going to play on PC because my own brain would forever be telling me that I'm not getting the optimum experience, and if I just paused and tweaked something else, it would be even better. I spent more time going back and forward between gameplay and menus when trying to play Brutal Legend than I did actually playing the game. So it's totally my fault, but I'm just never going to get there.
So as you all probably already know by now, I am deeply in love with my dear friend Scott Tailford, but our relationship is kind of like, you know that Meat Loaf song, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Well, it's kind of the exact same, because I would do anything for this man to love me, but I will not play Final Fantasy VII, which is one of his favourite games of all time, and presumably loads of people around the world. This is one of, the most acclaimed titles ever. They're one of the most revered pieces of media to ever exist. Everyone seems to love Final Fantasy VII, but it completely eluded me as a child, and I never got around to it. I was never really into Final Fantasy. I was never really into that aesthetic. I was never really into turn-based combat, so everything about it was kind of stacked against me, and even as I got older and got more into, the stylistic sensibilities of it, and, came to kind of enjoy turn-based games, I still never got around to it, even though I always planned on doing it. And I keep telling myself, I'm gonna play it, today's the day. But it's never the day. I got a PlayStation Classic to play this game, partly because that was one of the games bundled in with it. And then I was really excited. I was like, Scott, my friend, I'm gonna finally play it. And he said, no, don't play that version. That's probably the worst version you could play of it, which put me off. And then I was gonna play it in the lead up to the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Didn't. I was going to play it immediately after the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Didn't, because I was all Final Fantasied out. And even though I really enjoyed the remake and came to love the characters, so I know I'm going to love the world and the lore and the story and everything in that first game, I just can't bring myself to do it. Maybe because there's been so much time that's gone past, but it's one of those games that I always promise myself and other people I'm going to play it, but deep in my heart, I know I probably never will, in that sucks for me because I'm missing out on a great game, but I just feel like it's one of those things. Everyone has one of those friends where they have impeccable taste, and 90% of their recommendations you will follow through. So many games Scott has told me to play it, I have played, and yet there's always that one, the one that keeps coming up, the one that everyone says, look, you've got to watch/play/listen to this, and you're like, yeah man, I will, and you never do. For me, it was a long time, for a long time, it was Breaking Bad. My mate was like, Josh, watch Breaking Bad. And I was like, I'm not watching Breaking Bad. And then it got to season 4 and everyone else started watching Breaking Bad. And I thought, I'll probably watch Breaking Bad. But Final Fantasy VII seems like a bigger investment. It's longer, it's a bit more archaic. And I was never there as a kid, so I have no nostalgia for it. So I think, as much as I want to say to everyone, I will play it eventually. I don't know if that's true.